Alright guys, BLM here, back with more Brotherhood. Let's start sequence 2. Let's go.
Cody and Danny do talk. She doesn't believe Janelle. She doesn't believe that she's not going to come after them. And she says also that it's a good thing that Cody and Tyler are linked up because we'll have the most to give to Tyler. That'll be great for us. She doesn't like one Tyler.
She doesn't in it. So you said, as she really said, she said.
As you may have noticed in the van, I've made some improvements to the Animus, and I've also patched in a new VR training program. Here you can show off all those flashy moves you picked up from your ancestors. Let me open one of the missions.
It is so surprising because I do not believe that, even though, well, as far as Janelle did for but as the relationship that they have had in the public, it's so weird to see Janelle.
Fuck. Oh, what the fuck? Fuck.
You can access more VR missions through the Animus desktop. As you complete training sessions, I'll add additional challenges. To stop your subconscious from rejecting Ezio's later memories, you're gonna have to live them in the order his genome recorded them. Highlight sequence 2 for me, Desmond. Good, now select it and you're gonna see the memories inside. Once you've unlocked a memory, by accessing this menu, you can relive it as many times as you want.
But what if there are memories I just want to forget?
Desmond, this is very important. If you need to take a break, log out of the Animus. You can leave the machine whenever you like.
Oh my god, this is correct!
I'm all set to go. Don't worry.
One last thing. As you raise your synchronization by executing events the way Ezio lived them, you might even discover some repressed memories. Okay, let's get started. Select the first memory.
Desmond, I've been looking at those gibberish 5-digit codes from the end of Subject 16's files, and I seem to have discovered a remarkable coincidence. The codes correspond perfectly with the coordinates inside the Animus.
We've always known,
I've tagged the landmarks, pinpointed by the coordinates with eye icons in the database. Odds are you won't find anything there, but, well, who knows?
With that intel, which I am very impressed to see. And I was very glad that they clocked that, and that they worked, and that Bailey talked to Devon, and that they had the interaction, basically clocked everything. Well, not everything, but most things regarding like the war that they saw.
And yes, they are also concerned that
where have you brought me?
Like later to talk that like they're concerned that there's potentially like a 6 overall, right? That it's Tyler, or sorry, Cody, Enzo, Danny, Nicole, Nicole brings in Ian. And they said Danny has Tyler, which is
definitely
That's why they said Tyler was with Christmas, correct?
No, they said Danny was with Tyler.
Danny was with Tyler. Nicole was with Ian. Cody was with.
Cody kind of has Enzo.
So Christmas wasn't involved in that conversation.
Right. Yeah. They don't really see that Christmas is there. But they see that as a kind of 6. That they're not involved in, but that Tyler's basically like kind of on the outside of. And they see kind of Ian is maybe a 5 with them or something along those lines, but
Yes.
they're close.
Or what is
they're
left
close
of it
here.
since
They
the Borgia
have
came to power.
The gist of
And
this,
the
right?
mausoleo.
Which is that they
Unfortunately,
are
you
on
cannot
the
see it
outside
from
of this
here.
power structure
How
now.
about
At
from the
least
top of
they
that
were a lot
church?
closer
Yes,
to
but
the
the
center
stairs up
before.
are closed.
But
That should not be a problem.
But no
Vi
longer.
ringrazio di tutto quello
And
che
that
avete
if they
fatto
want
per me,
to
buona
find a
donna.
way in, that Tyler's probably that in, and again, I think that's correct because Tyler is scared. He is worried because nobody's coming up and talking to him. He realizes that once one of Kaser or Janelle goes, or perhaps both of them, that he becomes kind of vulnerable.
This is the speedrun strat, right?
House to something like a back door. He is worried.
No, it's swinging. That's what it is.
I need to find the doctor.
With that in mind,
Yeah, that's what it is. This is speedrun
that
strat.
he is wide open
It's quicker, obviously,
to
to do this.
putting something else together. The only problem
Oh,
is,
fuck.
and
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
gonna
this is the reason he's
No.
so frustrated
Okay.
with Day, is that every time he
This
tries
is
to
going
talk to Day,
disastrously.
she doesn't talk to him, and she looks at him. But Day now is changing her mind, and she's saying, okay, we do need to talk to Tyler. Let's try and pull him in, because these other outsiders,
Salute.
they're
I require
worthless.
medicine.
Basically.
David, as you said, is in
Someone
La
your
La
age
Land.
cannot recover from a
Kevin
wound
thinks
like this with
that he
medicine.
doesn't need to win HOH.
Here is
so
something
he's in
to
this
dull
big
the pain.
group.
You will heal over time.
And you know, Kaser and Janelle are on their way
4
out.
out of 5 doctors would suggest
Memphis
leeches,
is
but
an
they have not
asshole.
proven
I
effective
really
against
forgot
such
about
things.
this. You literally just
However,
right now.
I can recommend several good colleagues around the city. Do you need anything else?
So they're like, okay, this is maybe the way in, and I do think it is. The only problem is that it might be too late. There's been a lot of damage done in that relationship, especially between Day and Tyler when she was lying about him approaching her. So
Do you not think Bailey can repair that though?
I think that she can work on. I think it will take time. And I don't know how much time they have, but over time, I think it can be worked on. Tyler's, Day also tried to flip the vote on David, and he didn't like that very much. So I think it'll take a little while for him to feel comfortable, especially because it's so dangerous to openly kind of like move over here with the other people in that group, keeping a close eye on Tyler. If Davon did leak some information, as she is sometimes prone to do, it could really put Tyler in a rough spot. So all parties here have to be very cautious, but it would be very beneficial for them to be able to make it work.
Machiavelli can wait.
Yes.
That excites me and also terrifies me at the same time because Tyler probably wants to trust Day a lot and wants to tell her intel. But Day, as we saw and as you just said, has had a tendency to open her mouth.
Okay, don't turn around, right? So we can just straight up follow them.
And as Tyler is looking at as a person that sees Day as someone who doesn't trust him fully, try to go behind his back. Like, it's not smart for him to go to her with all this information. Be like, hey, did you know X, Y, and Z? And then trust with 100% guarantee that they would not go to Annie or Nicole or Enzo or anybody on that side and type of everything. So.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that if they take this slow, and they just kind of say like, look, we've been concerned in the past, but we're looking at this group now, and we really think we can make it work because we recognize that you, Tyler, you don't have an in to those other 3 to 4, and that if you like work with us, that's good for you, and we would like to work with you. Like long term, like end game stuff, because we are loyal to the group in the short term, and that I think that's the sort of thing that Tyler, I think will be like, okay, that works for me, and that also tells me that you're thinking long term about this group and that you're not planning on turning on it anytime soon, which calms those fears a little bit, and so we'll see.
So it'll basically be the 3 Tyler. If this happens, it'll be Tyler, Day, and then say they have to get numbers, so they throw in David,
Yeah, David and Christmas.
and God knows where, and they throw in Kevin, who is in God knows where.
I don't think they can throw in Kevin. I think that's too far. I think that Tyler will encourage Christmas to continue working on Bailey and Davon, try to get back in with them, so that he has another, because Tyler likes to have his secret weapons planted, and that's why he's not comfortable with this other group, because this entire Slick Six, he has no secret weapons there. He's relying on Cody and Enzo as his secret weapons, which they're not good secret weapons. They're not loyal to each other. she said, okay, let's say Memphis wins the veto. Who would you target then? Says,
She was
maybe
beautiful.
Tyler.
She was. Until that porco defiled her. I wish he'd just killed her. I wish he'd just killed La Mia Marta. People saw her grow up, cheered when he spat on her, smiles on their faces when her neck...
I understand.
How can you? My Lydia was innocent.
I have lost family to the road. Treachery.
Il Carnefice watches from his home on the hill above. Threatens to hang me if I cut her rope.
He's too good. You have to take those kinds of players out before the end game.
When you are ready, take her down. I will deal with Il Carnefice.
I mean, even though the qualities that he said in Tyler were true, 1,000%.
Oh, yeah.
But as a person, as Bailey, you seemingly have a type of rapport with you trust. And she'd ask you, okay, basically, don't try to Memphis. I'm giving you an avenue where he listens to you, so he's whatever top is blocked. Tyler, I have a rapport with him. Bailey does. We're in the same season. We're friends, seemingly. So it's just
wait, that's already a thing? I accidentally pushed L1 and it said guild not available, so that's already a thing.
Yeah, and like,
Nice.
This is the problem, like, it's important to hide your secret alliances, 1000%.
Requiescat in
But
pace.
it's also important to make sure that your secret alliances don't end up targeting each other. And he is encouraging these thoughts in Bailey to target Tyler. And, like, dude, talk about Cody instead, man. Like, be like, I'm worried about Cody and Tyler. They're both dangerous. I'd probably target Cody because I feel like Tyler's easier to work with. And that we could maybe pull Tyler in. If you told Bailey that, she would go, oh, that's perfect. That's what I'm thinking. And she might bring you in a little bit more. And that's giving him credit and saying that he was lying in the first place. For all I know, he was actually telling the truth, and he actually does want to target Tyler, because I don't know what's going on in his head.
No one does, which is the funny part. No one does.
Yeah, I do regret at this point not selling Tyler stock for Enzo.
So
I think that's definitely what I should have done, but oh well.
Is going on, and she says she's gunning for power next week to take a shot at those people.
Which really excited me,
Because I have a feeling Tyler's gonna try.
At that moment, I was really...
Stop paying attention.
The voice did not help him.
Yeah. So she tells him about this potential 6 that she thinks is going on, and she says she's gunning for power next week to take a shot at those people.
Which really excited me, and
I get too excited because it's
I know. At that moment, I was really amped up. Later on.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah. Beats are gonna go down for a while. Somebody tried to yell something into the yard, which
Did we ever get clarity on what it was?
apparently it was like ethnical get her
Ezio,
out or something along
what
those
a
lines.
surprise
They
to
think
see you
that
here.
it was like save Janelle.
I thought you had sent for me.
But,
Never.
I mean,
News of the Villa attack has spread across the city.
Get out of here.
We were certain
Stop
that
doing
you were
this.
dead.
You're
Not yet.
shutting the feeds down.
I am still very much alive.
This is
The
never,
Borgia must not
ever
discover
worked.
that you escaped.
In the history of wall yelling and banner planes, the most it's ever done is helped,
Follow me.
helped
Take care
people
not to
dig
draw
this
any
season.
undue
So,
attention.
I
When do
don't
I
know
ever?
if that's maybe what you wanted or what you generally want, but that's the most effective it's ever been, and that was a banner plane. So look, just chill. Just chill. Yeah. It often ends up having the opposite effect of what
You would be wise to purchase missing equipment. You will not live long in Roma without supplies. I have my blade. And the guards have their guns, courtesy of the Borgia. Fortunately, I can help
They
you.
often do. It's because it's so hard to understand that it's very easy to...
While you are in my debt,
for people
perhaps
to
you will
use
listen
this
to reason.
strategy
As soon as I hear something, I will let you know.
I do like the subtle. I don't know how subtle it is, but the character development in this game. That is something I would give. Like, I think the overall narrative is definitely significantly weaker than in the original game, but or in the original game than AC2. But I do like the more subtle character development in this game.
Perhaps. But I'm not going to take it. Sensei, there will be no peace until we rise up against the entire Borgia family, and the Templars usurp them.
I do not recall such brave talk at Monteriggioni.
How could I have known that they would find me so quickly? That they would kill Mario?
Rodrigo surrounds himself with snakes and murders. Even his daughter Lucrezia has been sharpened into one of his most artful weapons. But she pales in comparison to the man behind the villain. He is ambitious, ruthless, and cruel beyond imagination. The laws of men mean nothing. He murdered his own brother to take power. He knows neither danger nor fatigue. Those who do not fall by his sword clamor to join his ranks. The powerful Orsini and Colonna families have been brought to kneel at his feet. The King of France stands at his side.
Give me his name.
Cesare, head of the Papal Armies. What does he intend to do with his power? What drives him?
Oh, I mean,
That I still do not know. But Ezio, Cesare has set his sights on all of Italy, and at this rate he will have it.
Is that admiration I hear in your voice?
He knows how to exercise his will. A rare virtue in the world today.
To make it make sense, right? Whether that's so annoying, why did he? Come on. But it works. It works here. Bailey falls for it. Hook, line, and sinker. She's gonna talk about it later. But Bailey starts the impression. She really starts the conversation, saying, "I'm confused. I need some clarification. First, I need to know if Cody's using the veto." Dan's like, "No, of course not. Of course not." Then she's like, "Okay, I figured he would have told you, but I needed to know." And this again, like, I do think that Bailey is better than Devon at this of like showing trust, but I also don't like this overall strategy.
Should we not travel by horse? Roma is quite large.
Kind of like,
As
you're not
Cesare's
screwing us
conquests
over,
in
right?
Romagna continue
And
to
like, if
succeed,
you have to
and
ask,
the Borgia grow in power. They have taken desirable areas of the city for
because if they are
themselves.
screwing you over,
We
they're
cannot
just going
use the
to deny
stables
it.
here.
And if they aren't
they will
screwing
have
you
the
over,
Borgia is law
then
now.
you're showing
What are you implying,
showing them
Ezio?
that you don't trust
Do
them.
not
and
play
they need
dumb
to-
with me,
they need
Machiavelli.
to cut you soon, right?
Do you have some kind
I
of
just
plan?
feel like this,
I am
this is never a
improvising.
conversation that should actually happen in this way. And her even saying, and this could be like a small part. I feel like this could be a bigger part in Danny's mind of her saying, "Oh, I feel like you can tell me that you're planning out." Like, you're gonna do that because Danny's mind really moves in that way of like. So she asks like, who wants to stay? Danny says everyone wants Janelle out, but what are your thoughts? And Bailey says, like, I'm just concerned that we're taking out my side alliances and everyone else is getting to keep their side alliances. And it's again like, that's an inside concern, Bailey. That's not an outside concern.
Just because you kill a few guards does not mean the people will grant access to the stables.
You are right.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
We need to
thinking.
send a
Or
signal.
what I was thinking.
Wait here.
Bring that conversation down. Like, why is Bailey telling Danny all this?
To Bailey, Danny really played Bailey completely, and even aiding to her sense of being like, hey, well, I think she said if Cody or Tyler have a sideline, they have to take one more than two.
Ah, fuck off.
And that man, I was like, Danny, bravo to you, but Bailey completely divulging way too much information, way too much feelings, and concerns that she has for the completely wrong person.
Yeah. And Danny asks, like, well, who are the other side alliances? And that's when Bae brings up, like, well, this four-person thing scares me. Danny says, it's not true, it makes no sense. And Bailey starts talking about, like, you know, like, Tyler being Andrew, it has sort of,
It
like,
seems the
you know,
stable is now
done things
available
to me
for
after what
purchase.
happened last time. And this was interesting from Danny because I don't think this was smart. This is one of those things like, just because you have information doesn't mean you should share the information necessarily. And she did a good job with Bailey overall, but I did feel like letting this out was potentially dangerous for her because she says, well, look, if it will help calm your nerves here, I can tell you that I was talking to Tyler privately, and he told me that he will never put you on the block. And this is true. Tyler had that conversation with Danny. He said, I mean, the context of the conversation was, look, I can never target Bailey.
Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. I thought that was one.
My life being haunted by Bailey fans. So if that ever happens, it's got to be one of you guys, essentially.
And one of the reasons why he needs Twitter.
Yes, but and look, I do believe that Tyler wants to work with Bailey if he can. He's been trying to work on that relationship, and again, I do think that if Bailey and Devon approach him, I think he'll be more skeptical of Devon than Bailey, and I think he would love to work with Bailey long term if he can. And he basically told Danny, like, I just flat out cannot target her in this game. And
I
Danny
intend to
relays
heal
this
the
information
sickness,
to
or treat its
Bailey.
symptoms.
And Bailey's like,
Stop sparring with
that's amazing.
Fine.
That makes
Let
me
us talk
feel
openly
so
then.
good, so much
Rodrigo
better.
Borgia's death would not have solved
I've been
anything.
struggling
I am
because
inclined to
before I
disagree.
came in here, a bunch
Look
of
at
my
this city,
fans are
the center of
messaging me
Borgia
like,
and
you
Templar
better
rule.
not trust that
Killing
Tyler
one
devil.
man will not change
Like,
things.
you'll be such an
We
idiot
need to
if
take
you
away
trust
the
him.
source of the harm.
And I'm like,
Are you
Bailey's
suggesting
fans,
we
what are
appeal
you
to the
doing?
people?
Maybe.
Like, that's not helpful.
Relying on the people is like building
That
on
is
the sand.
all. It definitely clouds those judgments even going into it.
You are wrong.
Having that big
Our belief in humanity rests at the heart of the assassin brotherhood.
It's like, why?
He must be from your inner circle. Go. Get back what he has stolen.
Very good about that, and the reason so this works.
I will wait at the
It helps Bailey
Capitolio.
feel a lot more
I am
comfortable.
meeting a contact there.
Give me back my money. Part of Danny's goal, but at the same time, it really helps confirm
Come
to
back
Bailey
here.
that Tyler is somebody that she can work with, and that's not good for Danny because she's been trying to target Tyler in the future, and Tyler being
Get
able
out
to
of here
solidify
before I regret sparing your life.
especially in that case that she was talking about earlier where he put on the block next to Cody. So, there are pros and cons to this, but I have a feeling that Danny is going to regret letting this particular bit of information go. I can see it happening, but I feel like with Bailey though, I don't see that. Her telling Bailey that, I just don't see Bailey doing anything with that other than that's well, like when she wants to target Tyler. Yeah, but I feel like it's the immediate. Well, so I feel like I think that both
Did
Tyler
you
and
liberate your
Bailey
money from
have
our friend?
wanted to work together.
I did.
A small
They've squashed things on the outside
They add
for the
up,
most part.
and in time with work, we'll have a few dozen more.
And in time, Cesare's gaze will return to us, and we'll be broken again. Now, where is my contact, Vinicio? He should have already intercepted the letter.
Bailey has
Follow
not
me.
let her guard down around Tyler, and Tyler sees that. And because she's not letting her guard down, he can't let his guard down because he knows that she doesn't trust him, and she hasn't been able to trust him. And if this is the thing that allows Bailey to let her guard down, I do think it opens the door for them to get together and actually work together, which gives Tyler and Bailey more power in the game, where before Danny kind of had a stranglehold on both of them because they were unable to work with each other. So, interesting stuff, potentially.
And even every time I hear Tyler has voice like Bailey has like that, but even it's Devon, it always goes to my mind of we that worst person. Trust me. You're saying, okay, Devon is there, Devon's a wrong guy, her. Well, in my mind, I think, okay, if I was eyes like basically have
Look at these facades masquerading as government. The Pope is very clever to keep this place in business. It fools your friend, the people, quite easily.
When did you become so cynical?
I merely describe the reality of Rome today. but all may not be lost. The good news is that we have allies in this. How much longer this will last, however.
Like, she shouldn't let her guard down around Tyler, which, that is true, right? Like, Tyler is dangerous in the game, and I don't think that Bailey should trust
I
him
don't feel looking for something from 16,
but nor
but
should
last
Tyler
time
trust Bailey
scanning
for
into
long
Eagle
term.
Vision
I don't think
Center.
either
He was
of them plan
attempting
on
to
taking
steal
each other to
official
Mount Two.
Vatican mail.
Perdonatemi,
I
signore.
think they would both
You
fight
must
each
be
other
mistaken.
before the finals. And
I am
Tyler
working for
is
no one.
somebody that
Then no
likes
one
to
will
have
care
his,
what
you
we
know,
do to you.
side deals going on.
Side kick.
But this is what I'm referring to when I talk about like trust being currency. There's a reason that the blindly loyal players, like the Caleb's, or the even like the Sams for a while, like those players will often make it very
Where
far,
is it?
much
Oh,
further
you
than
still
the
have the
players
letter.
who are a little bit
Ezio,
more
stop him!
observant.
Find me at the
You might say, like they have more success in the game because they're showing trust, and making it much further in the game is much better than not making it much further in the game. And in order to get somebody to work with
Alright,
you,
now we
you
gotta
have
do
to
the
give them
tune,
some
right?
trust. You have to, at the very least, very convincingly fake that you're giving them some trust, and that's very hard to do if you don't actually trust them. It's way harder than you think. You have to, like, what a player like Tyler does to fake that he trusts somebody is he genuinely trusts them with certain things, right? So like Tyler's trust is like a house, and when he wants to bring someone in and show that he trusts them, he will unlock certain doors and then give them free access to those rooms, and he'll keep those other rooms locked, and he'll hide the fact that there's even a door there, and he'll pretend that's the whole house. But in that space that they have free roam, they have access to all of that information, all of that game talk, and then with other people he lets them into other doors and other rooms.
I love the analogy.
Stuff.
I love the analogy.
Right. Versus somebody who is not good at this. They keep the whole house locked up. They don't give any information away. Sometimes they like open the door and they give some information, but then they close it right away.
Close it right back up.
And they're like, that's all I'm giving you. That's kind of like a David at the moment, to some degree. Where like, and they feel like I'm keeping my house safe from these people because I can't
Now
trust
what?
them.
What is that?
Tyler. Why would I ever let Tyler into my home? It's like inviting a vampire. But like, the thing is, you have to give them something. You can't pretend that they're standing outside. And if they're not standing outside, they will never trust you, and they will never be able to work with you.
Compare to how they find that
Where did these murderers come from?
Oh, never mind.
What comes 20? Alright, let's do this then.
Oh, shoot.
Why not?
Alright, never mind.
Devon is the wizard in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
They're the guard guy, like with the slit.
Yes.
She's like, wait, hold on, I'm gonna tell you a lie, and I'm gonna see if it spreads anywhere before I open this door.
Oh my god, I'm gonna fly something under the door real quick.
Oh boy, alright. So that's how I feel like ideally somebody like Bailey would operate, is let Tyler into certain rooms, and then they would be able to work together, and I think that could work. The problem is that sometimes, players do operate where if they let them in the house, they can't help but have free access, and that's when it gets dangerous. But even that, I would prefer a player give free access to somebody who's not trustworthy than keep them completely locked out. Because even if a player like Tyler has free access, at least that means that he won't be targeting you, and you have the opportunity to later realize, I need to kick him out of my house. Versus if he's kept out completely, then he knows that you're one of the first people that he can go, right?
With that analogy, how do you see Bailey with that analogy, like with the house? Because how do you see her? Because I'm having a hard time conceptualizing how she is with that.
Bailey to me is one of those people. Like if she lets you in, you're pretty much all the way in.
Okay.
And she
can run upstairs in the backyard.
Yeah.
Kitchen appliances, everything.
She'll keep like her bedroom closed off, but for the rest of the house is free game. And that is concerning long term. I mean, for the rest of his life, he said. Yeah.
They did not forget.
So, Janelle and Kaser, in the meantime, are talking about how annoyed they are at Kevin. It's a topic of conversation lately. Janelle had a conversation with Cody where she was like, look, the person I'm most annoyed at in this house is not even Nicole F. Somebody else. She's referring to Kevin.
I get it. And her to even tell Cody that, I feel like would be a good strategy, saying like, hey, I'm not even like, I don't know what Nicole is. Like Kevin is like the most. Like,
Fuck, jump.
What do they call it? The
Yeah, because obviously you just wouldn't even give a shit.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Maybe they needle in my spine. I don't know. Probably not a spine. Probably some spine. Isn't it like the
bun in my basket?
We can say that.
Damn it.
The bane of my existence. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, let's just go with the bane of my existence. I feel like I love that. I don't know if it will help with anything. I don't think it will. But there's no great analogy.
The bun in Janelle's basket.
Don't be Nicole out. Be the bun in her basket.
Oh. That's her trophy after she... I've taken the bun as my trophy and I'm putting it in my basket for my bunny blueberry.
Oh goodness, the thorn in my side. The thorn
There
in my
it is.
side. There it is. I got the thorn in my
The needle in my spine.
Oh my goodness, wow. Thorn in my
Oh, fuck off.
You would go on the show and you'd be the guy that gets his spool of lies.
Oh my. I like to know. I don't think I'll do anything for Janelle, but I like it.
Yeah. Janelle lets Kaser know that Nicole A is the cause of all the problems. That Nicole A told Nicole F everything they said about her, that she said about her. Nicole A was giving all this information, and Kaser was like, why? Why did you do? She was the one person we told everything to, and Janelle was like, I know. What's her problem? And he was like, oh man, she was just all messed up. Oh man, that really scared us though.
And I definitely see it paying, like, I definitely see paying a part in even what Nicole L had to say after she saw the episode, like, oh, I'm someone that hasn't done it before, and I always like to talk about Janelle. And so I definitely see it playing a part, and it is so difficult to have a person that you think ruined your game and they're being out of the game, you're saying people to help you have to point. So.
Yeah. So, Danny is gonna, after her conversation with Bailey sees that Enzo, Cody, and Tyler are in the HOH room together, and she's like, this is a perfect opportunity, let's all get together. So she runs down to grab Devon, and Danny runs into the HOH room to quickly fill them in on the conversation she just had with Bailey, and say to them, like, we just need to keep them feeling comfortable, like they're feeling like left out again, and that we have got side alliances. She's worried about these side alliances. Tyler's like, I don't even have any side alliances. Like, I don't even have any. And Cody's like, yeah, like, who are these side alliances? Enzo, who's your side alliance? Enzo says, I guess Christmas, but not an official alliance. Enzo, no. Don't fall. She's a wolf. She's a wolf in your grandma's clothing.
In your grandma's clothing. Yo, bad. She really is. She really is. Oh my
So then Bailey and Devon come up. They talk through the options for which person should go home, Janelle or Kaser. They conclude Janelle. Bailey.
Because the power is coming next week.
Yep, it's you can't. I mean, when you've got people yelling over the wall, save Janelle. That makes her even more dangerous. She's gonna get a power. So Bailey says that she wants to make sure that Memphis is still on the radar. That we're going after Memphis soon too, right? They're like, oh yeah, totally. Tyler says that on his season he had Sam and JC to give him information. This season he's got nobody. It's just them, which is a lie.
I forgot.
Like, well,
Where am I
after
going?
Janelle leaves, I'll feel the same way, so we can feel that way together. That would be great.
A body moment of our loneliness.
chicks.
Out there.
His side chick is the entire house. He's everybody's side chick. And it's like, what? Oh, come on!
Hold on. No.
I'm friendly just as much as you guys are friendly, yo!
Was Nicole out in this room?
No, she's not a part of this alliance.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought she was.
But Bailey wants to make sure that everyone is willing to cut their people. I get it. It sucks when you have to
Now
do it,
I
but
can get back up
in
here.
my season, I put Donnie on the block so many times, and I was the closest person to Donnie. He was never putting me up, but I knew like he was saying Derek's name, he was saying Frankie's name. I had to do it. It's gonna be the same way this time. I'm totally willing to cut those people when the time comes. So everybody is left
final
reassured, and the group disperses. There we go. Danny's gonna talk with Cody and Nicole after everybody leaves. Now Nicole is in there, talking with Danny and Cody, and they're just talking about this meeting openly with Nicole, who up until this point has not heard of the Slick Six, does not know that this alliance exists. But they're just openly
What the
talking
fuck?
about it. Danny's like, I'm so tired of having to reassure Bae.
Oh, fuck off.
Like, I get it. Like, I understand where she's coming from, because we are screwing her over, but it's still just annoying to deal with.
But I love that she came to the realization, like, I get it, it is true. But the Nicole moment, we'll talk about it very openly, like, last season, Bella was talking to Sam about, whatever Six was, it was just like a, but I want to
Come on.
Nicole
Thank you.
Oh, no, she
Fuck
did.
off, game.
Oh, she did? Okay, I must have missed that part.
So she's talking, so Danny brings up the fact that, like, I think sitting in these conversations.
How much longer do we have? 55 seconds. We could make it.
That could help
Pretty
if I
close.
fall.
Not that I'm really trying. Like, I don't really care that much.
But she does look at him like that, and she does not trust him, so.
Yeah. Nicole then asks,
We're
like,
probably not gonna make it.
So this alliance you keep referring to, who started this one? Did Dave Vaughn start this one? And Danny's like, yeah. It was sort of like around that Tyler thing. Like, wait, what Tyler thing? Remember when Dave approached Tyler and then approached you, and then she said that you both approached her? Around that time. That happened. Danny's also just like, Nicole, can you just go grab the remote and switch the TV? So then Nicole gets up and she's like looking for the remote while Danny and
Route up
Cody
if I
keep talking
fall.
about this alliance. It's like, I
Just
can't
having
find
the
it.
conversation. It's like your child. It's like your child just running around the house and you look like, yeah, that's exactly like that man.
Yeah. So that was very funny. Now Nicole knows about this alliance.
And if I was Nicole, while all of her friends, people that she mainly talks to, are upstairs and are nowhere near her, Danny comes the girl.
I think we got it.
And you're
Just
stuck
barely.
downstairs with, like,
Trust me. Yeah, 1 second. We had 1 second left.
basically, like, where's everyone
That's pretty
else
fun.
at?
Alright.
So that's why I really thought Nicole was up there. I think Nicole was a better player.
Yeah.
Alright.
So they talk about how Cody says, well, the reason that Day doesn't trust us, I think, is that she wholeheartedly.
So we'll
believes
end
in
after
the
this
guidelines,
cutscene.
Which
Or is there a cutscene?
David told
I don't remember anymore. If we immediately meet up with Machiavelli, or we have to actually go meet up with him. I think he immediately. Yeah, I think he's there, right?
Nicole was busy talking to Christmas while all this was happening, and then Bailey came down from the meeting and said, "Hey, Christmas, I need to talk to you." And Nicole was like, "Oh, why does she need to talk to Christmas?"
The followers
She's like,
of
"Is she trying to
Romulus.
flip the vote?"
This band of
And
false
so she came
pagans
upstairs to
has
talk
been
to them,
terrorizing
and they
the
were like,
city
"Oh,
for
no,
months
she's trying to flip the vote."
and driving the people into the arms of the church.
Nicole was like, "I'll just ask
That
her
convenient.
later, she tells me everything."
Exactly.
Like,
I believe the Borgia are supporting them, but proof remains scarce. That is why the letter is so important.
Here it is. I hope you can break a cipher.
Katso. Another encryption. This one was supposed to be legible. They are transmitting them using a code sheet. Without it, we have nothing.
Sometimes logic is not the only way to win a war. Andiamo. You said we had allies in the city. Bring me to them.
Cody and Danny both think that Kevin
Follow me.
person that she's referring to, which is true. Nicole was like, no, it had to be me.
Okay.
It's like, no, she said specifically not Nicole.
Yeah, we'll end here.
Okay.
We're technically at the end of sequence 2, aren't we?
Cody talks about how
Yeah, we'll still do it next episode, but for now, thanks for watching. Well, I guess we can't. Okay, yeah.